That's more of a sprinkle on top thing.
Yeah. I want to put cinnamon.
Yeah.
But for some audiophiles,
Yeah.
You realize, to be an audiophile, what kind of problem-solving skills you got to have?
moderate.
Yeah, I mean, because it seems like, technically speaking, you're always trying to figure something out. How to make the system sound better, how to make your music sound more lifelike. And so it is certainly an ongoing lesson in problem solving.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess knowing the problem is the biggest hurdle. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
You need to know where the problem is to solve it, right?
Yeah. I guess it's got to start somewhere. Yeah. Like what to buy would be the first problem, right? Like, because you say you have nothing. All right, I don't have a headphone, I don't have speakers. What am I going to buy? That's assuming that even before that, I guess you got to come to the conclusion that you need to buy something.
Right.
So the first problem is, do I need to listen to music?
Yeah. Usually
the
people
first
can
one.
answer that one pretty
Okay.
easily.
That's
Do I
easy,
need
yeah.
to? Okay, now it's that. Given that, what should I buy? So now here's where it all starts.
Yep. That's a difficult one now.
Yeah.
And that seems to be one a lot of people struggle with. However, usually your wallet kind of helps you out to some extent on that one.
A bit.
You have limitations. And a lot of times, if you're looking under $200, you're probably not even considering anything over $1,000 or thousands of dollars. So your window's much smaller. And generally speaking, it also works the other way. If you're in the multi-$1,000 range, you probably won't even consider anything that's a few $100s. So to some extent, that's a start. That helps. But beyond that, even in these windows, you have a lot of choice. And then you need to consider, well, do I spend more on this and less on this? Or do I get this now and then plan to upgrade this later? Right? You got to figure out the path you want to go, what you care about. You look at all these other reviews, what people talk about, and it's a lot.
And then you make a decision
Yeah.
on something. Then now, all of a sudden, you find out that something needs something else to go with it.
Uh-huh.
So now the whole process starts over again in terms of problem solving. Oh, and now I have another problem. I've got a headphone. I got a pair of speakers. Now I need an amplifier. Oh, wait, I thought I just plug it into my iPhone. It works.
Well, it could.
Good.
And you could be happy with that, right?
Yeah. I hear the dongle's the bomb.
Yeah.
Best ever,
Yeah.
especially the Type-C dongle.
No, measures like
Perfection.
like no better amplifier could exist for a portable device.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
in fact.
Of course, for some things it's perfectly fine. We're joking.
But it sounds okay,
But a lot of
actually.
people say that. They're like, "Oh, you don't need anything other than this dongle." I was like, "Well, wait a minute.
It's not bad.
What are you listening to?"
It's very low in power, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's clear,
yeah, sounds fine.
decent.
Better than things used to be. I remember
That's
back in the
sitting
day.
there
Whew,
Yeah,
stuff used to be
right.
awful.
Yeah. You get like just a random like no-name MP3
Yeah,
player.
it's 50% distortion. It's terrible.
Somehow I'm like, I don't even know how things can be
Like
this
a
bad.
500 ohm
Yeah.
output impedance.
Yeah, and
barely drive a
that's not
headphone.
even a thing anymore. You can't
Yeah.
even get bad stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, everything's on one chip, right? So
Yeah.
if the chip's good to go. It does it all.
Pretty much.
So yeah, to screw that up, you really got to be trying.
But there is a lot of problem solving. And the unfortunate reality is it's very difficult to know what problem you should solve first and what problems need to be solved at all.
The dongle is a perfect example. Say you're using that, doesn't have enough power. Easy, you know the problem right there. Oh, I need more
Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
right? That's an easy one.
It doesn't play loud enough.
That's right.
Right.
Well, technically, you could look for a different headphone too.
Well, that's true.
That plays louder on the same dongle.
That's true. It's true.
You could
There's
do
options.
that. Yes.
Yeah. But you got to figure out your approach. And that's unfortunately very difficult. It's very difficult, even as a experienced individual in the industry, to make an estimation of what somebody else is looking for. Because you got to take all their facets into account. You got to consider everything. You got to consider about how much do they value the money? How much do they value the space, the size this takes out, the convenience of all the various factors? What are they looking for in the product? Because maybe to them a $200 product is massively superior to a $500 one. Maybe they don't care at all, right? So maybe that isn't really a considerable factor. Maybe you need to consider just the other aspects, the performance, the compact, ease of use, and these sorts of deals.
I suppose problem solving can be a quite tiring thing for some people to deal with. And they would, like you said, not that they don't care at all. It's just that they don't care to figure it out. And okay, this works. It's good enough. I'm good. I'm done.
Well, that's an easier one then. Then you don't need to do a lot of problem solving.
you're good.
Right? If you're that
Yeah.
type of person where it's like, yeah, this is good enough, that's actually good.
Some people
in
do that.
high-end
They just go
audio.
to whatever Target has on the shelf, buy it,
Yeah.
and it works. I'm done, and they don't even think about it again. It's
Must
good.
be nice.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of things you probably do that for. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, you could get down a rabbit hole on anything,
I suppose.
but, well, this ketchup I bought off the shelf, it's ketchup. It works,
I think
It's fine.
I come to think of it now the way I think when I tend to go to look at something at a store, I think this whole problem solving thing becomes a bit habitual, doesn't it? 'Cause I'm thinking
Well, yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, well, if I went to Target, let's say I'm looking for a set of knives,
Yep.
not that a set of knives. Now you're looking at 10, 20 choices, whatever they got on display. You could buy one knife at a time. You could buy a whole set. You could buy the wood block, whatever. I don't know what Target has for knives.
Yeah.
But let's just say knives, right?
Oh,
They got a few options.
Yeah, and you think about that, and you're like, okay, now you're looking at, well, there's $100 knives, and there's $50 sets of knives, and there's $5,000, there's $1,000 set
You
of
go to the
knives.
dollar store, get a knife there.
Yeah, or I can get this nice white ceramic one that's only $20. That's, that could be cool. I never had a ceramic knife before, but the question is now all of a sudden now you got to start doing some thinking. It's like, so you could really get anal about this stuff if you think about it. You could really dig into it and go, okay, what do I need to now? Which ultimately I would think in my case, if I couldn't make a decision, I probably wouldn't buy anything because now I got to I don't know what to get. So you walk away from the shelf and
Yep.
you come back at it later, right? Or not at all.
Well, then you gotta think about future problems because then you run into knives like your ceramic knives. Then you gotta sharpen them, and the ceramic
Oh.
way harder to sharpen.
wouldn't even know
right?
how to do that.
Well, you need diamond, and it's a whole thing.
So then basically you got to buy a disposable ceramic knife.
Well, you get one cheap enough where you just throw it out when it gets dull.
If it does stops cutting, it stops cutting, which probably most people do with knives because
Yeah.
I don't know how many people have a sharp.
Most people don't do a lot of
sharpener.
sharpening, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have high-end knives, but it's-
Yeah. Well, if your knife costs $2,000, you're probably gonna.
Well,
sharpen
sure.
it.
Yeah. There's a professional company that actually sharpens your knives for you.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw it on Shark Tank. I assume they're still around. You send them their knives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do a bang up job. They got a super duper pooper scooper knife
Yep.
sharpener, and they send them back in air
Yeah, well, that's common. There's places that's their businesses. They go to restaurants and sharpen all their knives for them.
Yeah, which you wouldn't think there'd be money in that, but
well, in industry, yeah, makes sense. You don't want your cooks dealing with this sort of deal.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, it is efficiency.
Right.
If the guy's sitting there taking a minute to cut a
Right.
piece of bread, you're going to have a real issue there over
Well,
time.
especially if you're doing things like sushi or anything, it's very important. You can't
Oh,
just
that's
be like,
Those guys must have their own honing stones
well,
right there.
they maintain their stuff.
But problem solving is a valuable skill to have, and unfortunately, it's very applicable in high-end audio. But it's a difficult one because ideally, you would take into account all aspects, and oftentimes it's very difficult for people to relay what things they're concerned about. So it's hard externally for someone to help someone in that situation because there's so much choice. So it sort of is kind of your own journey, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what you're looking for, and usually one of the better approaches to that is just kind of go for it, dive in.
Well, you see that all the time, like people recommending amps or DACs or whatever that they like. It's like, well, I like it, but I don't know if you would like it. You'd have to try it. That's pretty much always what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, and usually the guy that's had the most toys is probably the one that most people would listen to. But then again, I don't know, people just kind of make their own decisions all the time. So
Yeah, plenty of times somebody will recommend something that is well regarded and they'll say it's the greatest thing ever and it solved my problems, but it doesn't mean it solved yours. Sometimes you see people saying, I didn't like it and I sold it. I bought a different thing.
Yeah, well, some people are better at explaining what they're looking for than others, so everybody else can help them better. Like some people are like, well, I'm looking specific. I want the most impact I can get, and everybody's like, oh, okay. So then you kind of know what direction to steer them. But if you're saying, I just want something that's really good,
yeah,
well,
have at it.
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
So I guess understanding your specifics is helpful. Then usually you could find someone that'll help you out. But if you just say, I want a good thing, well, you could buy what other people seem to like, but that'll probably take you in the right direction, not necessarily the best direction. So it's a difficult one.
There's one thing I noticed, come to think about in problem solving, is something that's very difficult to find. Good whipped cream.
is it?
Yeah.
We got to make your own.
I know, but even then, it depends on the cream you use, and
Well,
like
yeah.
you're limited as that choice too, because you're usually going to the supermarket and
You
you
got
only got
two.
like 2.
Yeah.
So like I know when you go to ice cream places and they all tend to be, some are way smooth as hell, really good, talking soft serve, and other ones are like ice milk, they're like
Yeah.
Dairy Queen style, which is fine if you like Dairy Queen, but it's like So and I mean and you ask these people, well, how do you make they're all using similar machines.
Well,
it's
yeah.
not the damn machine, and I don't think there's any damn. It's not like there's magic involved. You
Well, maybe.
pour this friggin'
There might
liquid in
be
the machine
magic,
and
yeah.
it makes ice cream, right? So it boils down to ingredients.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I mean, the biggest example of that is wine.
Yeah.
You get $1 bottle, well, $2 bottle of wine. It's made out of grapes, just like a $500 bottle
That's
of
for
wine.
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, whipped cream's tough to find. So, I think something we need to work on in troubleshooting is making a better whipped cream,
Oh,
and then figuring out how to sell it to people so they can buy it.
start a whipped cream factory.
Yeah. A real one.
Oh,
Yeah.
real. Well, they all say real on them.
Yeah. But I've been to some places, I can't recall where they actually do make their own whipped cream.
Well, like Starbucks.
They
does.
usually got that
they got the
thing. They're like,
Yeah.
or whatever. They're blowing it out of something that's not a can.
Well, it's a can, but yeah.
One of those refillables.
Yeah, they have nitrous.
Yeah. Nice stuff. Yeah, and it's like, oh, they made their own whipped
Well,
cream.
start there. Buy one of those things.
Yeah,
You get them
that's
on
true.
Amazon, Prime
Maybe I'm
Day,
gonna get on a whipped cream kit.
$20.
Yeah.
Yeah, spend like 3 months refining your product.
Yeah. I hear in New York, upstate, the farms is the one you want to get the
Oh.
milk from, the cream.
yeah.
Upstate. Yeah.
It's significantly more expensive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the baller stuff for ice cream, I guess. So yeah, I'd start there, and then maybe there's like smaller creamery farms.
Oh, yeah,
that you
there
can
is.
go and get.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now, see, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of, and then the sugar is going to be important too. Where we get the sugar from, different farms. Oh man, see, this is going to be a fun troubleshooting exercise.
When you get a little vanilla in there or something.
Yeah.
Then that's a whole rabbit
And
hole of
then-
vanillas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or cinnamon. That's
Right.
more of a sprinkle on top.
Yeah. I want to put cinnamon.
Yeah.
But for some audiophiles,
yeah.
this discovery process can be part of the excitement.
Yeah.
So it isn't always all bad. And if you're the type of person that wants to just go right to the final, well, you're going to have to ask for somebody's advice and hope it's good. But otherwise, well, maybe you'll have some enjoyment along the way, trying out the various products and seeing how they work, seeing what you're looking for and exploring the various products and attributes of high-end HiFi performance.
Yeah. If you just want a baller system, just ask us. We can put it together. For you.
Yeah,
We got a few of them around.
sure.
At the
It's a
upper
valid
end
option.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, anybody with experience in the industry, they'll give you a pretty good recommendation, you hope.
Yeah, because they've played with it.
Right.
Well, you hope they have.
That's a good
Yeah.
start.
Yep.
But some people haven't.
Some people
Probably.
haven't. That's true.
I assume.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. On that note,
Uh-huh.
we got to get to work.
Yeah.
We didn't have any secrets for the end of this episode. did we?
23.
Maybe we should just use the number pi. and
You're
call
going to
it
need
a
to
day.
remember all these numbers and at some distant point in the future.
So on that note, we better get the hell out of here.
Mhm.
We're driving people nuts with that ramble.
Oh, yeah, for the
Yeah.
3 people that made it this far.
Yeah.
Remember, subscribe because we're going to hit 20,000 by the end of the year. That's our goal. Everyone's got to help us.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Take care.